Hey, good day. Happy New Year. Today is Monday, January 4th, 2021. Oh, I can't believe it. Hopefully it's better than 2020. That being said, if you can remember back a couple of weeks ago, we started long division, and we are picking up with 2 days of long division this week. So we're going to review in the warm-up what we did on December 22nd. And we got your traditional 4 examples and 2 problems to do. There's also a homework assignment with two questions. These are a lot, so for a 5-point assignment, 2 questions is fine. And those will be set to Thursday. So that being said, let's just change the window and have you get started. Divide the polynomials using long division, and I'll be back to go over that. Okay, welcome back. We don't see anything here, but the answer should be x minus 8. So let's kind of go through that. Should be getting x minus 8 if I'm reading this correctly. So just going back to what we did before. We call the trinomial the dividend. That goes inside what we call the house. And the divisor goes outside the x minus 3. So we're going to get rid of the first term. So we got to go x squared divided by x. Simplify that. That's x. X multiplied by x minus 3 is x squared minus 3x. And remember what we talked about when we subtract vertically, we are actually adding the opposite. So on the brighter pen, take the opposite of these. The x squares cancel. Negative 11 plus 3 is negative 8. And bring down to 24. And now we have to get rid of negative 8x. So negative 8x divided by x is minus 8. So in your second box, we're going to put a minus 8. And then distribute the negative 8 counterclockwise. That's negative 8x. Negative 8 times x, and negative 8 times negative 3 is 24. We subtract vertically and add the opposite. So everything cancels. So there's no remainder here. So you can write your answer as x add negative 8, which is x minus 8. Means the same thing. Okay, so the problems we're going to look at today have one difference from what we did back on the 22nd. Let me show you what happens here. Okay, so we're starting you off here with a traditional division problem. This is just like the warm-up, so I just want to get into it. I'm going to throw a couple different scenarios at you the next couple of days. So one thing I want to really keep in mind here is that algorithm's not going to really change here today. Okay, so we're going to start. We start with x cubed divided by x. That's x squared. So come up with your. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times minus 5 is negative 5x squared. Subtract going down, which means we're going to add the opposite. So x cubed cancels. Negative 2 plus 5 is positive 3. Now remember what I said on the 22nd. okay? The divisor has two terms, so we need two terms here. So we must bring down that next term, that negative 22x. We must keep in mind that we're trying to eliminate 3x squared. So we divide that by the first term in the divisor, which is x. So 3x squared divided by 1x is just 3x. Then apply the distributive property. 3x times 1x is 3x squared. 3x times minus 5 is negative 15x. Move on here. I don't know how that. Let's get it better. So we're not. So subtract going vertically. Let's give us some more room here. Let me just spread this out yet. So subtract going vertically. If you see here, we're just didn't change the subtraction to addition, so we want to do that. Take the negative 3x squared, change 15x to positive 15x. These cancel. Negative 22 add 15, that's negative 7. And finally, last thing we could bring down is plus 30. Now this is where you're going to see the difference today. We don't need computations. You can go back in the video and watch this. All right, so you got to see now. Now we want to get rid of negative 7x. So we go negative 7x divided by 1x, that's negative 7. That goes up here. Negative 7 times x minus 5 is negative 7x plus 35. So now, here's the difference today's lesson, is that everything's not canceling out. So let's just show you what happens. Not a big deal. This is just the introduction to the concept of a remainder. Okay? When you divide two numbers, you don't always have, the dividend is not always a multiple of the divisor. Same thing with algebra. So when you're subtracting here, presents a little bit of a problem. And that problem is, these cancel, but when I change 35 to negative, 30 minus 35 is negative 5, okay? Now, normally, when we're going through this algorithm, dividing two real numbers, you can add decimals and continue to go. Well, polynomial, since you don't know the value of the variable, you can't go any further. So this is called a remainder. This is your remainder is negative 5. So when we write our remainder, we do it in the following way. Your remainder is negative 5. So it's plus, this sign's always a plus, negative 5 over the divisor, x minus 5. So as you should, you can just circle this in, and that's going to be your answer. Okay, hold on. So we write our answer. Just want to write it properly. So your quotient, I'm taking a lot of time, is x squared plus 3x minus 7. So plus negative 7, just write it as minus 7. Now the remainder always gets a plus here. And I didn't write that into the notes. I probably should. Okay, so that's how you write your quotient. These quotients all have remainders. Algorithm's the same. So we'll just go through the other examples as we go. So try example 2 next. I'll be back to go over it. Okay. I get this set up ready to go. First term should be x squared, because x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 6 is 6x squared. Subtract going down. Take out my green pen. Change the operations. So x cubed cancels, and 4, negative 6 adds to negative 2. Bring down one term. Now we're going to say, well, what added times x gives you negative 2x squared? So just divide them, and we get negative 2x. That's going to go up top here. We don't need this anymore, so we'll just get rid of it. And then multiply the negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times x plus 6 is negative 2x squared minus 12x. So you're going to add 12 and negative 7, all right? You look at it, get all the signs right. This is the easiest thing to screw up. So that's 5x minus 14. You see 5 times 6 is not going to give you 14. That's why you get a remainder here. So 5x over 1x is 5. That goes in our box. So we're going to be prepared for a remainder. So the 5x, 5 times 6 is 30. So it's going to be negative 14 minus 40. Remainder should be negative 44. Okay, so we just subtract going down. Add opposite. This is gone. Negative 40 minus 14 minus 30 is negative 44. So you can't go any further. We do just like we did in the first example. We put this as add the remainder over the divisor. All right, so this is what everything should look like. Let's write our answer a little bit more professionally. X squared minus 2x. And then plus 5 with a remainder of 44. Remainder is negative 44. I hope I got that right. Remainder should be negative 44. Yep, over x plus 6. Okay. Just like the first part of the lesson, problem 1 is just like the first two examples. So you want to kind of skip to that. Okay. And then from there, we'll go over examples 3 and 4. Okay, more of this. So first thing, I did not draw in. Put the boxes in where they belong. Okay. Now this first box has to be 3x cubed divided by 3x. 3x cubed divided by 3x is 1x squared. Goes here. Okay, so we just pause it and take it off. If I'm teaching this in a classroom, I like doing this on a scrap chalkboard. Show you how I'm getting my answer. X squared times 3x, well, that's 3x cubed. And x squared times negative 5, well, that's negative 5x squared. Subtract going down. So add the opposite. 3x cubed cancels. And it's 7 and 5 is 12. So we got 12x squared minus 5x. Then you just slow down and say, well, we want to get rid of 12x squared. So we divide it by 3x. That's equal to 4x. So we got 4x times 3x is 12x power 2. 4x times negative 5 is negative 20x power 1. Subtract vertically. Erase my scrap. Benefits of the video is you can just go back and get that. Okay, so change your signs. So we got the 12x squares cancel. Negative 5 plus 20 is 15x. And then drop the negative 8. So you know how we drop these. This will be an indication that we're done. So we're going to divide 15x by 3. That's 5. So this problem will give us a remainder 15x. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. So they're not exactly the same. Okay, so we cross this out. And then we just subtract vertically. Minus. We should end up with the remainder of 7. Just go slow through it. Plus, negative, plus, cancels. Negative 18 and 25 is 7. So our remainder is 7. So we do plus 7 over 3x minus 5. Let's write our quotient down where it's a little bit more legible. So our quotient is x squared plus 4x plus 5 plus 7. Everything's positive here. So that's our quotient, our answer to the. Okay. So try example 4. And I will, let's just look at it quickly. Be back to go over it. Nothing different, actually probably easier because you deal with 2x versus 3x. So I'll be back to go over that. Okay, here's our setup. We should start this with 2x cubed divided by 2x. We're going to start with 2x squared. So if you don't believe me, 2x cubed divided by 2x. You just cancel out 1x, we're left with x squared. That goes, I said 2x squared, it should be 1x squared. Okay, don't need this. Distribute x squared. X squared times 2x is a 2x cubed. X squared times 1 is a 1x squared. Subtract it. So it should be the 2x's cancel, the 2x cubes, we're left with 10x squared. It's 11 minus 1. It's not 11 plus 1. Drop minus 9x. We'll look at a couple divisors tomorrow with 3 terms. And then divide 10x squared by 2x. That's 5x. Okay, that goes inside the second box. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times 1 is 5x. Subtract. On that line. And just subtract going down. So we end up with, we're going to read the signs carefully. That should be a negative 14x. It's negative 9, negative 5, negative 14. And then drop the minus 20. And then link negative 14 and 2. Negative 14x divided by 2x is negative 7. So that negative 7 in green multiplied by 2x is negative 14x. -7 times 1 is -7. And then subtract going down. Let's clean that up. All right, good. We don't need these anymore. Hit rewind if that screws you up. All right, let's get a purple pen. Let's do the subtraction. All right, so now I need another color. It's -20 plus 7 is -13. Hey, when the Chicago Bears beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl 34 years ago, it was 35 years ago. You beat them in the regular season 20-7. I love that. So -13 is your remainder. Hello, sports. Over 2x plus 1. You can come up with an application of sports for all this stuff. And my check quotient over here, we got x squared plus 5x minus 7. You don't want to say plus -7. Plus -13 over 2x plus 1. That's the answer. Okay. So after this, it's programmed. We're in a 50-minute class. So go to example 2 and go over it. And you'd have your exit ticket. So if you have any questions, you know the drill. You know how to reach me. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.